Hi Lavon, this video is going to give you a little bit of feedback on your technology manuscript as you prepare to send it off for publication or review for publication. First of all, I think it's a really good idea to focus on live binders in higher ed and how it can be utilized. I'd actually like you to come up with a little bit of a creator topic or creative title too, and this utilizing live binders in higher education might come after a colon, where you have something a little bit more creative and sort of catchy here, give us a colon, and then utilizing live binders in education. I think you've got a lot of good stuff in this beginning. I'd love to see you find a source or two, whether it's from something we've read in class or from the textbook Teaching Naked that we're utilizing in course, that you can cite somewhere and actually direct us to someone else who said some of these things, particularly is that technology in higher ed can actually enhance what we do around intellectual growth and success. Find a source to cite for that and give me an in-text citation to it. Once you get past your introduction and you're talking specifically about live binders, you've done a good job of hyperlinking to a couple of things here. I'd actually like you to hyperlink at the very beginning to the actual website for live binders, so where someone could go find out some more information. And rather than focusing on, a shelf that takes us to, multiple live binders that people could pick from, pick one or two. Find one, that you really find interesting and useful, and that you can talk about and highlight a couple of features of, that it's really well formatted, it provides a lot of information. Do what provide us a link and a little bit of information about why we want to go ahead and visit that link. So give me an example or two of a good binder, whether it's just related to education in generally or to higher education specifically. I'll leave that up to you to decide, but pick one. And you have this, maybe you try to find Stephanie Creeches at Darden Middle School, since she's the one who talks about the benefits of live binder. Maybe you try to find her particular live binder and link to it and show some of the special features that she's included. Not necessary, but possible for you to do. So I like that you've sort of given us an introduction, and then you've really sort of talked about live binders in general. And I think, we want a heading or a subheading up here that says, live binders, and just maybe some general information. Then go into specifically, the use of live binders in higher ed, and how you think it can actually relate and be utilized by not just folks in higher ed in general, but specifically student affairs professionals or higher education professionals. What are the benefits? What particular context would you see using it in? You talk sort of generally about administrators can make good use of it, they can post documents and paperwork, but give me something specific, like what, focus maybe on your area that you're discussing in your area profile, and use that as an example that you can talk about, in your manuscript. And this might be adding, a page or two where you say, here specifically is how it can be used. And if you can, either set up a mock version of a live binders that talks about and illustrates the example that you want to give in your manuscript, or link directly to the one that you've worked on in EDL 556, and you can say, as a student in technology and higher education, I created a live binder account, and here's how I've been able to use it so far. Here's how the accessibility, here's the way you sort of post documents. Give us some information on why and how it's useful to you, and give us an example, one specific example that you can direct us to talk about. I think the big thing is going to be, that you make sure you really give us some specific ways it can be utilized in higher education by administrators, not just some general ideas, but give us something specific. I do also think that you need a conclusion, and make sure that you go in the conclusion, say, maybe here are the benefits of using live binders, here's some of the drawbacks. And, one of the drawbacks from using live binders is that you can't post all types of information. So you can't just post, you know, a link to a video, or you can't just post a document. That there are certain things you can't post directly. And if you have questions about that, you might talk with Jeremy, because he's been doing some work for me on a live binder account. And some things from the course that I want to post in there, you just can't get posted. My last comment is that anytime you use a direct quote, during the in-text citation, you also have to add a page number. So after this 2005 right here, in the parentheses, you put comma, P, period, and then the actual page number that you got this quote from. You know, I think you've got a really good start here. I think by giving us some specific applications and perhaps setting up a little bit more how and why this is useful in higher ed, and specifically to administrators, I think you'd be giving us you know, very interesting and useful manuscript. I also, you know, want to emphasize you do need a reference page, and we do need to cite 5 sources, and right now I'm only seeing you know, 2 or maybe 3 in here. So do be sure that you go in and do that and include a reference page with your manuscript. So if you have any questions, let me know, but you got a really nice start here, and with some refining and some additions, you'll have a strong piece. Thank you.